the way I look at it is that there are skills that I have already retained and I'm happy with. And then what I'm looking to do is to introduce ideally one thing that I'm looking to train today and change or learn. And that's my focus. Everything else is just maintenance of something I'm already practiced at, rather than like trying to learn 3, 4, 5 new things. That all, again, the research shows that doesn't help too much.
Fighters, welcome back to another episode of Hetrick Muay Thai Performance.
And do you know what? That falls directly into something else, is so that you're varying the practice that you've got as well. So rather than it being repeating the exact same thing over and over again, that actually movements that contribute to that and surround it, but not exactly the same, also enhance that carryover. So for example, if we're talking like switch knee in particular, you could throw that switch knee, say, on the spot, traveling forwards to make up distance, or backing up if the bag's coming towards you, for example, or an opponent's coming at you, switch. All of that is still the switch, but it's varying around the same sort of motor pattern program that you're creating, and it makes it far more stable and applicable in different circumstances with different timings and that kind of stuff. All of that is banked repetition, but it's varied. There's a randomness to it too. In terms of the brain and body building up a skill, there are 3 features that don't change regardless of how you throw that technique. So your brain will see this as being the same. It's the order, the sequence of movements that you have, that 1, 2, 3, 4, connecting that chain through in the movement. There's the relative timing of those doesn't change regardless of how you throw the technique. And when I say relative timing, so it might be the proportion of different muscle groups acting, depending, so let's just say something like a jab. There's a bit of chest activating, the triceps take over as the arm extends, and then there's a bit of bicep on the end to stabilize the joint if we kind of really crudely look at some of the muscle actions going on. That sequence, chest to start the launch, tricep to take over and launch, bicep to stabilize and create that sort of effective mass of tension on the end so it's firm. That always happens regardless if you throw that fast, slow, or whatever. That always happens in that sequence. But you'll also find that the relative timing of how much chest effort you put in, or the time that works, compared to the amount of time that the tricep works and the bicep works to stabilize on the end, is again also the same whether you do it slowly or fast. The timing ratios will be the same. And the same is true of force, how much effort your chest puts in relative to the tricep, relative to the bicep. So regardless of how much effort you put into that punch in this example, that is always the same as well. So when you're doing your rehearsals on the bag, and like you say, you're being asked to do, say, lots of reps, and you're thinking, is this starting to make my technique go a bit off? You can play with the speed that you're throwing it at, perhaps reduce the speed a little bit, or the effort that you put into it to bring the energy down a bit. But rest assured, you're still practicing the same order of events, the same relative timing of events, the same relative force ratios, and that is all building skill. Even if you're not giving it 100% speed, effort, power, and all the rest of it, it's banking practice repetitions, and your body just sees that as a pattern that you can reuse with different levels of force and speed.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. Please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit hetrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.